Welcome back to Across the Pitch. This is episode 12, your weekly dose of football drama, hot takes, and a sprinkle of chaos. Whether you're here to relive the magic, scream about missed chances, or just bask in the beauty of the beautiful game, you've come to the right place. We've got goals that'll make you gasp, saves that'll leave you speechless, and performances that'll have you questioning, did they even show up? So grab your favorite matchday snack and settle in, because we're about to dissect the action, the drama, and everything in between. Let's get into it. All right, let's sink our teeth into Arsenal's battle with Crystal Palace, a match that was every bit the roller coaster you'd hope for. Drama? Check. Goals? Oh, plenty. Let's dive in. The game kicks off, and before Arsenal fans even had time to settle into their seats, Crystal Palace hit them with a sucker punch. 4 minutes in, Jean-Philippe Mateta finds the back of the net. A slick left-footed shot into the bottom right corner, assisted by Dean Henderson. It was one of those moments that left Arsenal's defense looking around like, what just happened? But here's the thing about Arsenal. They don't stay down for long. They spent the rest of the first half probing, pressing, and piling on the pressure. Raheem Sterling hit the bar, Leandro Trossard fired just over, and Gabriel Jesus tested Dean Henderson. Yet, nothing stuck. Palace went into halftime ahead, and you could feel the tension simmering in the Emirates. The second half? Oh, it was Arsenal's stage. Gabriel Jesus decided enough was enough. 54 minutes in, a precise strike to the bottom corner, courtesy of a perfectly weighted through ball from Martin Odegaard. It wasn't just an equalizer. It was a warning shot. Arsenal was back, and they were coming for more. And they delivered. By the 73rd minute, the same duo combined again. Saka to Jesus, Jesus to the back of the net. 2-1, and the Emirates exploded. It wasn't just the scoreline. It was the momentum, the swagger, the belief. Then came the 81st minute. Odegaard again weaving his magic and Jesus completing his hat trick with an ice-cold finish to make it 3-1. Arsenal was flying, cruising even. But, of course, this is football. Crystal Palace wasn't done yet. In the 85th minute, Eddie Nketiah decided to make things interesting. A header, perfectly placed, made it 3-2. And suddenly the game was alive again. Palace pushed, Arsenal dug deep, and the final moments were absolute chaos. Every clearance felt like a lifeline, every counterattack a potential dagger. And then, finally, the whistle blew. Arsenal 3, Crystal Palace 2. It wasn't clean, it wasn't easy, but it was everything we love about football. A fight to the finish, packed with passion, skill, and just enough drama to keep us on the edge of our seats. This wasn't just a win for Arsenal. It was a statement. They don't just play football. They battle, they scrap, and they find a way. Let's talk about Liverpool's nerve-wracking showdown against Southampton. A game that started with swagger, but didn't exactly end with a stroll. First half, Liverpool comes out swinging. Darwin Núñez didn't even bother easing into the game. 24 minutes in, and he's already putting his name on the score sheet. A right-footed strike, low and precise, nestling into the bottom corner. It wasn't flashy, but it was effective. Southampton's defense? Practically statuesque. You'd think Liverpool was setting up for a cakewalk. But here's the kicker. This wasn't going to be an easy day at the office. Liverpool knew that even as Harvey Elliott doubled the lead just 8 minutes later. A clinical finish, assisted by Cody Gakpo, left the home fans stunned into silence. At 2-0, Liverpool seemed in total control. Everything was clicking. Elliott looked sharp, Núñez was buzzing, and the midfield was holding firm. Then came the second half, and with it Southampton's fight back. Cameron Archer decided he'd had enough of playing spectator. 59th minute, a fast break, Liverpool's defense caught napping, and Archer's finish was as cold as ice. Suddenly, it's 2-1, and you could feel the tension creeping in. Liverpool started looking a little less composed, a little more frantic. The closing stages, absolute chaos. Chances were flying everywhere. Federico Chiesa, in his usual dramatic flair, tried his luck not once, but twice in the dying minutes, blocked both times by a Southampton defense that had seemingly found a second wind. Darwin Núñez had one final crack, but his shot sailed wide. 6 minutes of added time felt like 6 years. Every second dragged as Liverpool tried to shut the door while Southampton kept hammering away. A header here, a blocked shot there. It was a full-on siege. But Liverpool's defense, shaky though it was, held firm. Barely. And when the final whistle finally blew, it was Liverpool 2, Southampton 1. This wasn't a glamorous win. This was a gritty, gutted-out victory that left fans clutching their hearts and questioning their life choices. But sometimes that's football. It's not about walking away unscathed. It's about walking away with the 3 points. And Liverpool, they managed that, even if they left us all feeling a little worse for wear. Now let's talk about Newcastle versus Brentford, a game that had everything: goals, drama, and a bit of swagger. Buckle up. Right from the get-go, Newcastle didn't waste any time. 9 minutes in, Sandro Tonali stepped up and said, "Let me show you how it's done." A right-footed rocket from outside the box into the bottom corner. No hesitation, no mercy. Brentford barely had time to blink, and they were already chasing the game. But Newcastle didn't stop there. The first half was theirs for the taking, and they knew it. By the 43rd minute, it was Tonali again, this time capitalizing on a smooth cross from Anthony Gordon. It was one of those goals where everything just clicks, the kind that makes you wonder if Newcastle had rehearsed it 100 times in training. 2-0 up before halftime, and Newcastle were cruising. The second half kicked off, and Brentford showed signs of life. They had chances. Yoane Wissa in particular was causing problems. But here's the thing. For every push Brentford made, Newcastle had an answer. The Magpies' midfield was a fortress, with Bruno Guimaraes bossing the game like he owned the pitch. Then came the 69th minute, and Newcastle delivered the dagger. Fabian Schär found himself in the right place at the right time, poking the ball home after a scramble in the box. 3-0, and at that point, you could almost hear the fans singing, "Is this your king?" Brentford looked rattled, and who could blame them? But let's give Brentford credit. They didn't go quietly. In the 91st minute, Yoane Wissa finally broke through. A fast break, a sharp finish to the bottom corner, and it was 3-1. It wasn't going to change the outcome, but it was a reminder that Brentford still had fight in them. The closing moments were pure Newcastle, though. They kept the ball, managed the game, and saw it through with composure. The whistle blew, and the scoreboard read Newcastle 3, Brentford 1. A statement win, no question. This wasn't just about the goals. It was about the energy, the control, and the confidence Newcastle brought to the pitch. They didn't just beat Brentford, they outclassed them. And with performances like this, you have to wonder, how far can this team go? Let's break down PSG's electric clash with Monaco, a game that had us holding our breath at every turn. It started with PSG doing what PSG does best, striking early. 24 minutes in, Désiré Doué found himself in the right place at the right time, slotting one home into the bottom left corner. Assisted by Achraf Hakimi, it was a goal that screamed precision and flair. Monaco, however, didn't look fazed. This wasn't going to be a walk in the park. The first half wrapped up with PSG holding the slimmest of leads, but it didn't take long for the drama to unfold in the second. Early into the half, a handball in the box gave Monaco their lifeline. Elias Benseghir stepped up and coolly converted the penalty, leveling things at 1-1. The game was officially wide open. Then, chaos. By the 60th minute, Breel Embolo had turned the game on its head, giving Monaco the lead with a close-range finish. The crowd was roaring, and for a moment it looked like Monaco might just pull off the upset. But PSG had other plans. Enter Ousmane Dembélé. The 64th minute saw him fire one into the center of the goal, restoring parity. It was the kind of response that champions are made of, and PSG wasn't done yet. In the 83rd minute, Gonçalo Ramos put the Parisians ahead once more with a stunning header. The assist from Lee Kang-in was pure class, and PSG looked like they had wrestled control back. And then, as if to put an exclamation point on the night, Dembélé struck again. 97th minute, a blistering left-footed strike into the bottom right corner, following a fast break. It was the dagger. Monaco had no time left to respond, and PSG walked away with a 4-2 victory. This game wasn't just about the goals, it was about the fight. PSG had to dig deep, face adversity, and respond in the moments that mattered most. And with players like Dembele, Ramos, and Doué stepping up, they didn't just win, they made a statement. It's games like these that remind us why we love football: the drama, the skill, and the relentless unpredictability. Now let's dive into Roma versus Sampdoria, a match that wasn't just a win, but a statement. Let's break it down. Right off the bat, Roma came out like a team on a mission. 9 minutes in, Artem Dovbyk wasted no time making his mark. A clean finish, bottom left corner, served up on a platter by Alexis Selemakers. It wasn't just a goal, it was a declaration. Roma was here to dominate. And dominate they did. By the 19th minute, Dovbyk was at it again. This time, a header from close range, dead center of the goal. It was so effortless, you'd think Sampdoria's defense was taking notes on how to finish. 2-0, and the game was already slipping away from Sampdoria. But wait, Roma wasn't done. 24th minute, Tommaso Baldanzi steps up and unleashes a left-footed thunderbolt from outside the box. Bottom left corner, unstoppable. At 3-0 before halftime, it was less a contest and more of a showcase. The second half kicked off with Roma in complete control. Sure, Sampdoria tried to claw back some dignity. In the 61st minute, Gerard Yepes managed to slot one home. A right-footed finish, center of the goal. Nice enough, but it felt more like a consolation prize than a comeback. And then, as if to remind everyone who was really running the show, Eldor Shomurodov added the cherry on top. 79th minute, a perfect header into the top left corner, courtesy of a gorgeous Angelino cross. 4-1, and that was that. Roma wasn't just playing football. They were putting on a clinic. Every pass, every shot, every move seemed calculated. Sampdoria? They were chasing shadows, trying to keep up with a team that was 2 steps ahead. When the final whistle blew, it wasn't just a win. It was a message. Roma means business. 4-1, a commanding performance, and a game that left no doubt about who was the better team. This is the kind of football Roma fans dream about: confident, clinical, and completely in control. Let's talk about Valencia's tight draw against Espanyol, a match that had us biting our nails to the very last second. The first half kicked off with Espanyol wasting no time asserting themselves. By the 44th minute, they broke through. Antonio Roca whipped in a pinpoint cross, and Javi Puado rose above everyone, heading it straight into the bottom left corner. It was a textbook goal, the kind that has you shaking your head in admiration if you're neutral, and cursing under your breath if you're Valencia. Valencia wasn't without their chances, though. Diego Lopez came painfully close, smashing a shot off the bar in the 35th minute. It was one of those moments where you feel the tension ripple through the crowd, a collective what if ringing out. They had opportunities, but Espanyol's defense held firm, and Valencia went into halftime trailing. Then came the second half, and oh boy, Valencia came out swinging. It took just 2 minutes after the restart for them to find their equalizer. Enzo Barrenechea threaded a perfect pass to Diego Lopez, who calmly slotted it into the bottom left corner. 1-1, and the momentum had shifted. From there, it was a battle. Espanyol had their moments, with Briel Embolo testing the Valencia defense, but it was the visitors who looked more likely to find the winner. Dani Gomez was everywhere, firing shots and creating chaos, but his finishing touch seemed to have deserted him. A left-footed effort in the 89th minute went wide, and with it, Valencia's best chance to snatch all 3 points. The final whistle blew, and while both sides might feel they could have won, a draw felt fair. Valencia showed grit to claw their way back, but they'll be rueing those missed chances. Espanyol, on the other hand, will take solace in their resilience. It wasn't the prettiest game, but it was a reminder that sometimes football isn't about dominance. It's about moments. And this match had plenty of those to keep us on the edge of our seats. All right, let's get into Villarreal versus Rayo Vallecano, a match where the red card wasn't just a turning point, it was the drama. The game started at a steady pace. But by the 22nd minute, Alvaro Garcia broke through for Rayo. A neat right-footed finish to the bottom left corner, and after a quick VAR check, it was confirmed. Villarreal found themselves trailing, but this is a team that thrives under pressure. They pushed forward, determined to claw their way back into the game. Then came the 32nd minute, and the match flipped on its head. Willy Cambuala went in hard, too hard, and the referee had no choice but to show him a straight red card. Villarreal was reduced to 10 men, but they didn't crumble. Instead, they regrouped, digging deep to keep Rayo at bay. The red card could have been a death sentence, but Villarreal wasn't done yet. Just before halftime, Ayoze Perez produced a moment of magic. A stunning right-footed shot into the top left corner brought Villarreal level. Down to 10, but suddenly it was 1-1, and the momentum had shifted. The second half was a grind. Rayo tried to capitalize on their numerical advantage, flooding Villarreal's box with crosses and shots. But Villarreal's defense held firm, throwing themselves into every block, every tackle, every clearance. They were a team on a mission to prove that being a man down didn't mean they were out. By the final whistle, it was still 1-1. A draw might not have been the result Villarreal wanted, but considering the circumstances, it felt like a win. The red card had threatened to derail their night, but their resilience turned it into a story of defiance. This game wasn't just about the goals. It was about grit, determination, and the refusal to back down, even when the odds are stacked against you. That's the kind of football that sticks with you. And that's a wrap for this episode of Across the Pitch. If you enjoyed the breakdowns, the banter, and all the football chaos, make sure to hit that like button. It's free and lets us know we're doing something right. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Turn on those notifications because the football world never sleeps, and neither do we. Got thoughts, hot takes, or just want to rant about your team? Drop it in the comments. We read them all, even the spicy ones. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, keep the passion alive and the debates fiery. See you on the next episode of Across the Pitch.